As I eagerly await the arrival of yet another pair of custom Nike sneakers that I designed myself, checking and refreshing the tracking number online to see exactly where the delivery is, let's take a break and distract ourselves by digging into some other things that I'm cooking up for you. And here they are, your 4Ps, episode 91. This week officially marks the reopening of MoMA, the Museum of Modern Art here in New York City, after a lengthy renovation. It's also the first time it's been open since our office, my company, moved across the street. And I walk by it literally every day as it's been closed. I also can look right into it from my office window. Now, this is an incredible museum, and I can't wait to go back and visit it and see the changes that they've made and the updates in the next few days or in the next few weeks. They have an incredible variety across genres and artists and styles. It's also the home of one of my favorite and one of the most famous paintings of all time. I know it's a lot of people's favorite painting, but it's one of my top 5 paintings, called the Starry Night. Now, sophomore year of college, 21 years ago, my roommate and I recreated a mural version of this outside of our apartment, almost 20 feet wide. I studied Van Gogh's brushstrokes, the original, but have not seen the painting in almost 15 years now. And not many people know that it was one of his last paintings, and he painted it when he was not a healthy man. He was quite disturbed. It's actually, it depicts the view from his hospital where he stayed after famously cutting off his ear just now a year before his death. So this painting is both dark but meaningful, but also beautiful. And I think about it all the time, and I hope that painting is still there in West Philadelphia. Maybe I'll go back and check it next year during our 20th reunion. Who's coming, by the way? As the fall marketing conference season hits its stride, I've been grateful for lots of opportunities, but especially for those that have been here in New York City the past few weeks to talk on a few different panels at different conferences, including one just this past Monday at the Brand Marketing Summit in Brooklyn, and another one last week as a guest of Sedato and Ad Monsters and the New York Times, which was a bit more intimate. It was after hours, people were drinking. Hopefully no one was recording, because for this one, I was maybe willingly goaded into being the controversial one on stage for this panel. But it was kind of refreshing and gratifying to not have to hold back. And I spoke confidently about some of my views and opinions on the future of our industry. And while some of it was provocative deliberately and even a bit tongue-in-cheek, I think my most fun responses were to an audience question about bold predictions for the next 5 years or 5 years from now for brands and digital marketing, and how we're on the verge of what I said to be the end of the engagement era and the rise of the conversion era, which I think a lot of people had their heads scratching around, and talking about how I think the shift from social and Facebook and Instagram over the next 5 years to Amazon and Alibaba, which will become more creative canvases, was definitely something that also a lot of people took notice and tweeted about. But also talking a lot about future-proofing, and that's a very common theme, but I hate the term because I want us to focus more on future creating. Because if you're future-proofing and you're thinking defensively, and if you're thinking defensively in this business, you're going to get burned. So this week, let's celebrate a small victory. We are in a state of almost constant shock and then forget, where one crazy thing happening in Washington or with this president is just quickly outdone by yet another. But this week, the president backtracked on his initial decision to host the G7 Global World Leader Summit next year at his owned Doral Resort. I've never been there, but I heard it has bed bugs. In Miami. Now, golfers call Doral the Blue Monster because I think it has a lot of water. But maybe the idea of the Blue Monster scared Republicans in the GOP into forcing his hand since they're hoping for a red wave in 2020. I don't know. But I just love in this case when the old political rules still kind of apply for Donald Trump. And it's rarely been the case with him, but this time, this decision clearly violated the emoluments clause. There was no question, and the Republicans could not even defend it. So this was, for them, a move too far. And they were vocal about it, so he had to backtrack. But what this really shows is if they, his own party, put pressure on him, they can actually keep him in check. But most of the time they've been too afraid, as a party at least, to step it up or follow it up, with the possible exception of Senator Pierre Delecto from Utah. But this is a good sign, I hope. So my challenge to moderate Republicans, there is so much more that is utterly indefensible at this point. So what are you doing about it? As the scandal pile grows, at some point, this shit pulls gravity down to the bottom, and it's going to end up on you. As for the rest of us, I think it's clear that impeachment, which may or may not have been popular for the last several years, or at least the threat of it, is now making a difference. It's forcing this guy and this administration to think, and even to change. So for Democrats, keep the pressure up, because it is a much-needed restraint on this guy's behavior. After some fantastic reporting by The Atlantic over the weekend, Senator Mitt Romney admitted this week that he does indeed have a lurker Twitter profile. The name, as I just mentioned, Pierre Delecto. Now, Romney has been the most outspoken GOP senator against Trump, but this account dates back even before his Senate run, which makes it cool. Crafting the right lurker account is important. Following key people, engaging the right people, but not giving it away. You can't retweet yourself from your real account. These things, lurker accounts, let you say things that might get you in trouble otherwise. Look, you all know I'm not shy about my beliefs or my opinions or calling out others' bullshit. So imagine how hard I go in on my own lurker account. Yes, I've had one for many years. It's actually more therapeutic than anything, which is why this is practical. It lets me vent and unload my frustrations that I often feel on a platform without getting me in probably more severe trouble than I would normally get in. So I highly encourage Twitter lurking as a means of trolling those who deserve it, but also just letting out some of the worst demons. And yes, that may make Twitter a little bit worse for the wear, but in the end, it'll make you better. And if you're curious what my lurker Twitter handle is, well, good luck finding it.